Well, another day. We have matching color-coded blazer and shirt respectively.
Yes.
I just threw on a shirt. I was like, yeah, Angie's being all professional, so why not I just threw on a shirt? But for people wondering who these Looney Tunes are, well, A, we're not Looney Tunes. We are the people bringing you all the latest esports action only and only if you have subscribed to our channel called the ESL India Premiership. Yes, indeedy. ESL India Premiership is the channel you need to subscribe to and press the bell icon button so that you don't miss any latest happenings, because this is where you get to see all the live games happening during the Summer Season Masters League of the ESL India Premiership 2018. Brought to you by none other than the biggies in the industry, owned by HP, HyperX and Intel, and presented to you by Nordwind Gaming and ESL India. I'm your host Vagish Godsley Bhan. You must have seen the name tag which came some time ago when the other camera was on. And Angie.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Yeah.
What's up with the black? Why are you copying me?
No, I think you copied me.
You copied me.
I came in the same way.
Rubbish.
Yeah. I love to wear black. Black is my favorite color.
Okay, okay. Let's not be pseudo metalheads
yes.
right now. Let's focus on the
All
games at hand. We have Clash Royale, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, and Dota 2. Same as usual for you guys. But again, if you never subscribed or press that bell icon, you're missing out on the action. I feel bad for you, but I want to laugh because you are missing out on all the latest happenings of esports. And that's what the difference is between us and them, as I like to put it. But moving on. Clash Royale. Let's know a little bit about our them in this game here. Let's start with the first player, Jimit Bhatt. Alrighty, then that's Jimit Bhatt. Angie, you wanted to add on to this?
Well, this player is doing okay for himself. I would just say okay because he's still in the staggering lower end of the leaderboard. He's sitting 10th on the board as of now. He's played 6 games but is able to get only about like 10 points. Or even lesser.
So that's he's just won 3 games out of
yeah,
that.
He's
In
like,
fact, let's bring the standings up.
Yeah, if you could just have a look at the standings, I would give you a better understanding.
Let's start off with the standings.
He's got 6 points.
Yeah, he's got 6 points, not 10. He's played 9 games and he's lost 7 of them.
He's lost 7 games. Now, this is a little worrisome for him because recently even Bryn has played his games and he's sitting 8th on the board and he's just got 1 more game to play, but he's still doing better than Jimit. So if Jimit really wants to climb up, he has only 2 more chances to do so because he's already played 9 games, which makes him at a very difficult position to sit at as of now.
In comparison to Mehtab, who can still go up. Mrinmoy, on the other hand, can face the axe if his 1 game is a loss and Mehtab wins all the other games somehow.
True.
Well, that will be there. In fact, Sushil Abhisha would be... So right now, it's the poaching period right now.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the standings right now, Mehtab, who's just got 7 games in his kitty, he's got 4 more games at hand.
Yeah.
If he manages to win even 3 of those, even if 3 of those, he still ends up 3 into 3, 9.
Yeah.
Is 15 points, right?
Which
15
still
points.
makes him in the cushy
He will
zone.
have 15 points, which will enable him to be above Mrin, securing his spot in the Masters League for the rest of the season. He doesn't have to go to Challengers League. Whereas, if Kamil, on the other hand, who's got a larger number of games, he's got 4, 9, 4, 4 and 3.
He's still got 6
7
games to play.
He's got 7 games to play. 7 or 6 games to play.
6
games to play.
Right? Yeah.
If he even wins half of those games, he's still safe.
And
the guy
who's
who's
I
going to
think
be
he
in
can
danger
even
is
climb
Sushil
up.
Abhisha.
I mean, Sushil, it's a little interesting to see him fall because he was in the top 4 for quite a while.
Yeah,
and
so that's the beauty. How see this is how it is. So this is the rise of the underdogs, as I like to call it. You know, you can never ever trust whoever is with you in the Masters League because you never know how the game might change. So Manmohan might go up. Jimit has 3 games. He can be in the safe zone. Shadab can be higher up. Sushil Abhisha and Mrinmoy sadly seem to be in a dicey spot. In fact, while we've spoken about it at length, Angie, it's fair that we introduce the other them here, the other part of the them here, Kamil Khan. All right, that's Shadab Kamil Khan there. Angie,
Yeah, he's sitting seventh, cushion spot for him. He can either go higher or lower. I doubt he will go lower than this because all the
I doubt
others.
how lower he's going to go
Yeah,
than this. I
because the
mean,
others have already finished 10 games. Of course, the people who have finished 10 games have won only one or two games. But talking about this kid, I mean, he's already played about quite a bit of games. And from there, he's won about three and a half, 4 games. So he's pretty settled. And I hope to see him at the land finale because he looks very confident. He has a very different style of gameplay. He likes versatility, but he also gets defensive when necessary. While Jimmy, on the other hand, very, very worried about him because first of all he has only a set amount of cards he likes to play,
true,
whether
true,
we
true.
talk about just the golem or just the P.E.K.K.A. He likes to play that one big card and I'm going to get the others all situated around them, while Kamil is more like, even if I have to play all small cards, I don't care, I've got to make sure my defense is much stronger than my
True,
offense.
true, true. When the rush gets heavy, the defender gets going at that time. In
Exactly.
fact, general shout out to production. Also, a lot of people pointed out to me that Kamil's real name is not Kamil Khan. His game name is
Shahbaz.
Kamil Khan. His real name is Shadab Khan.
Yeah.
So we will get that rectified soon enough because now we have our dear Kunal.
Yeah.
He's fed us well today. After his marriage, he's ensured that we eat good food. Since we were unable to go for his wedding. So
Yeah,
happy marriage, Kunal. Happy marriage.
Broad
Moving
smile
on,
on
let's
your
go on to
face.
center cam and see the cards for the players.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay then, Jimit Bhatt and Shadab Khan, ladies and gentlemen, not Kamil Khan. Shadab Khan. Favorite card is Bandit, whereas Jimit is like Three Musketeers. I'm very interested in seeing the number of games played. The difference is humongous. Like for a guy who's played 8,500 games odd and he's managed to win like around 800 games of that. On the other hand, you have a guy like Jimit Bhatt who's played 14,000 games but still managed to win only 1,400 of them. That's not even half of the games
No,
he
not
played.
1400. He's won 7,300 wins.
Oh,
Those are
damn.
three
Yeah,
crowns.
sorry. What am I
Yeah.
seeing? I'm seeing the 3 crown victories. Dang it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the victories. 8,500 games played and 4,000. That's halfway through still. So
Yeah.
both of them are predominantly at halfway mark.
And
for
they're
the
not even
amount of
too
matches
far
played.
in the trophy count. I mean, 3,900 highest trophies, of course, has been 5,000, while his has been 4,600. I keep persisting on this dialogue that, you know, the higher you climb, the more difficult it gets.
It is.
But-
Ask me. Ask me. I'm not even like high up and I'm still feeling the wrath of the other people. Oh my God.
But to
the
see the
hordes.
drop, I mean, just a simple drop of the highest trophies being 5,112 to 3,970 now. Either he's chosen to drop on his own, which could be one option, that he just purposely lost games to come down in the trophy count to collect cards, which is normally what people do at a high level rank game, or he is just dropping in performance. Now there could be only two reasons. I do not want to give the second one more preference because somebody who's climbed so high knows how to really play against a lot of different cards. But putting that into matter, I also want to mention that in 2018 Clash Royale has changed quite a bit. You kind of get cards which you really don't expect to get. You can also buy them from the store if you have enough gold, which is kind of making people who are on the lower trophy also, or if you have a lot of money. So Jimit is one of those players who has never really invested money into the game. Whatever he's climbed and built, he's built it on his
Is
own, and
by
that's
his
commendable.
own skill sets.
So he has to play. Some people say that, you know, why do certain people play only certain cards? Because you're able to level up only a certain kind of deck climbing
Yeah.
up. You can't really go and level up everything because then you will not have gold to kind of, you know, upgrade your cards to a
That
massive
is my
extent.
current problem.
And that is why when I look at these players, I feel that it's pure effort. And to reach 5,112 trophies is a no kids play.
It's not a kid's
Yeah.
play. So in fact, let's look at the banned cards. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to see a P.E.K.K.A.
he doesn't want the
Shadab has
P.E.K.K.A.
banned the P.E.K.K.A. Jimit's banned the ever nasty Goblin Barrel.
Yeah. I mean, I do know Kamil loves to play the Goblin Gang. Now, when I talk about the Goblin Gang, not only the card, the Goblin Gang, but also he just loves to play a variety of goblins, whether it's spear goblins, normal goblins, Goblin Gang, Goblin Barrel, and it works in his favor. Now, Kamil banning out the P.E.K.K.A. card, I don't really think that was necessary because he has everything to kind of counter the P.E.K.K.A. card. While Jimit had to be more, I think he would have preferred banning out the Golem card because that's something that he really struggles with. And if you give Jimit the Golem, he knows how to play with
Yeah.
it. And he's going to destroy anything he's whether it's getting rid of those goblins by a zap and a log, he will work out something
So
like
do you think
that.
it's going to be Jimit's victory?
I think Kamil has this one. Only reason being is because he's more of a versatile player. While I think he's understood how Jimit plays, he kind of always has done this research on every player before really playing against them. But Jimit, on the other end, he's come in with the experience. So when you sit at 5,000 trophies, you know how your opponent is
Basically,
going
it's
to
a Virat Kohli, Sachin Tendulkar game altogether. one comes with the experience, the other is the young, angry man of Clash
Yeah.
Royale.
And also it comes down to discipline and
Yeah,
patience.
true, true.
Yeah.
I most certainly agree with you on that. In fact, right now, let's head off into the game and see what's in store for us. Manoj Super XL Gola has again joined us after his brief hiatus. A wedding he went to and never got his goodies from there. Well, Super XL, take it forward.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back after a brief hiatus, just like Vagish has said. And contrary to what his second statement was, I did bring back goodies for the entire office. And specifically, those goodies are called mangoes. Enough about that. We have a match between Kamil and Jimit right now. And looks like Angie has thrown in her lot with Kamil because, as she says, he is a more versatile player. But again, this is Clash Royale. This is the ESL India Premiership. My name is Manoj Super XL Gola. I don't know why I added that, but anything can happen. So we'll just have to wait and see. So looks like Kamil has started using the relatively new cards, the Magic Archer as well as the Hunter, who are like pretty versatile, right? The Hunter has both a huge short-range shotgun-like burst, and if they're like a minion horde or a skeleton army coming towards him, even those spread pellets will completely destroy them, obliterate them immediately. So that is one advantage that Kamil hopes to use, I'm guessing. And look at that, he even has the Rascals in his deck. So I don't think we have ever had a player who has used so many new cards in the same deck on the Premiership. So this is, I find myself slowly becoming a fan of this Kamil guy, yeah. Because, you know, he just keeps using those new cards. And look at that, that bandit has made it all the way to Jimit's tower, has made contact with its dash and brought it down to 852 HP. This is insane. Like, we're only a minute and a half into the game and Kamil has already established himself as a very, very strong pusher. And Jimit is basically just struggling. He has his Tornado, he has his Log, he has his Hog also, but he just is not able to use them to their full potential. You know, those zappies coming out from Kamil just are not letting Jimit do what he wants to do. Again, a miner being let out by Kamil so that he doesn't bleed Elixir. Good decision, because it is just a throwaway card and you can basically just do whatever you want with it, right? You can distract your enemy's units with it. You can put him beside the tower and then poison the tower so that the Ice Wizard that Jimit just placed gets a lot of damage. And this is a strange split, though, for the Rascals. Usually, what I've seen on the ladder is most people do want both the archers as well as the tanky guy on the same lane. But who am I kidding, right? Kamil's the pro here, not me. And we have another Hog push coming out from Jimit right there. Oh, look at that. Excellent placement of the Hunter. Just destroys the Hog before he can do even a tiny bit of damage to the tower. Although that is true, he did bring it down to 788 HP thanks to the Log, thanks to the other units doing their job, thanks to the poison as well. But it's Kamil who takes the first tower of the game. Now we just have to wait and see if Jimit's Hog is good enough. Is it good enough? Oh, 200 HP. Oh, it's not good enough. Wow. That was close. That was close. 154 HP left on Kamil's tower, and he gets game number 1. That is insane. That was the most action-packed game I've casted in the last week. Well, that was the only game I've casted in the last week, so I guess that doesn't make much sense. But let's say, like, I just want to go immediately to game number 2 and see what's happening, guys. Let's just jump right in. Okay, and we're back with game number 2, Kamil versus Jimit. Kamil leading the score line right now. It's 1-0. And I gotta say, Kamil's unconventional decks, I think they are just winning him the game, because Jimit, although he's the more experienced player, he has been in the Premiership for a much, much longer time, he is just not able to counter Kamil's tracks. I guess that's because he just hasn't faced them before. Okay, so now we see Kamil coming out with a Golem deck, with a Golem poison deck, with a Lumberjack. Okay, that is certainly interesting. We'll just have to wait and see how effective that is against Jimit's deck, which is basically a blitz spam with a battle ram. Although the battle ram does not make contact with the tower, Jimit's barbarians actually reach the tower and hit it once or twice, and we see quite a bit of damage going on Kamil's other tower on the other side as well. So far, Jimit has managed to keep his towers clean from any damage, but that might all change when we actually hit double elixir time, because, you know, Kamil's Golem deck is going to get much, much more powerful once we hit the last minute. And we just have to wait and see if Kamil can capitalize on the extra damage that extra elixir that he's going to get, or if Jimit's slow and steady pushes actually are going to just win him the game. You know what? Honestly, I hope this is a final scoreline of 3-2 or something, because it's been a long, long time since I've had a 5-match series. And you look at the beauty of this Magic Archer right there. Although he was targeting the Golem, right? Since the Golem was right in line with him and the tower, the Psionic Blade splashback, as a reference from Dota 2, I would say, it hit the tower, and it hit it so many times that it brought it down to 1027 HP. And Jimit's tower, on the other hand, is basically holding its own against Golem and its babies. They've brought it down to 2/3 of its HP, which is still okay. Like, he's still like 400 HP above what Kamil's tower is. And now that we've entered the last minute, we're going to see many more Golems coming out from Kamil, I assume, because if not now, then when, right? Okay, we see a Jimit doing his bridge spam all the way over here on the left. I think that Battle Ram will not make contact with the tower, and it does not, thanks to the log and the Lumberjack just making short work of that push. Look at that, just beautiful defense right there. He actually used less elixir. He used 2 less elixir to counter Jimit's push, and 500 damage, but it is still damage nonetheless. 725 HP left on Kamil's tower, 1050 on Jimit. But it looks like it's going to completely kill this Golem, and then it's going to start proceeding to laser down the Lumberjack, and then slowly but steadily he's going to go visit Kamil's tower. And I think, yeah, 2 minutes left in overtime. I think Jimit has got it in the bag, especially since his Dark Prince has actually made it all the way across, and Jimit finishes it off with a beautiful, beautiful fireball right there. Whew. That... I don't think there was even one moment in that match where some action was not happening, except in the first 20 seconds, because, you know, our pro players tend to bleed a few elixir in the first minute. But that's okay. They just gave us some really, really good action-packed games. And I guess it's time for game number 3. There we go. So looks like Kamil is back to using his Bandit. I think that's his not only his favorite card, but also his lucky mascot or something, because all the games that I've seen him, although I've not casted his games, I am the producer here and I get to watch all the games as they keep happening. And he's won almost all the games that he's played with the Bandit in his deck. Jimit, on the other hand, has gone back to his roots. He uses some of his favorite tactics, which is the 3 Musketeer decks, along with a Hunter and a Royal Ghost. So, I don't know what strat he wants to use. I'm not sure what kind of meta deck that he's trying to counter, but let's see if it works out for him. Okay, so Jimit is playing a Hog Cycle deck with 3 Musketeers. Okay, I'll have to get back to the studio and listen to Angie explain this deck to me, because I really can't place what kind of strat that Jimit is using. Okay, so I got a little bit distracted right there because I did not expect that Ram from Kamil to make contact with the tower and bring it down to such low HP so quickly. Like, it was full HP just a few seconds ago. Another Hawk coming out from Jimit right there. It's going to make it all the way to the tower. Gets saved from the minions thanks to the Ice Golem, but really only able to get one hit off, and that didn't really help it much. Okay, another Ram coming up from Kamil, and Jimit has a Zap, but he opts not to use it because he knows that tower is dead anyway. He wants to save it for something else, I presume, which is the 3 set of minions for coming out from Kamil at any point in time. That Hog actually does manage to get 3 or 4 hits off onto the tower, bring it down to 1221 HP, but I think this is Kamil's game to lose, man. All he has to do is defend for a minute. Like, Jimit has pretty heavy cards in his deck. Like, the only real damage that he'll be able to pull off in this last minute is if he uses his 3 Musketeers, and Kamil has that Zap Fireball combo instantly ready to take care of 2 of those Musketeers, and he did exactly according to his plan. 2504 HP left on Jimit's King Tower, and 1221 left on Kamil's Princess Tower. Is it going to go down to this Hog, I wonder? It probably is not. Hog does get one hit off or two hits off onto the tower, but thanks to the Bandit and the Inferno Dragon and this slow motion ram coming out from Kamil right there, he might actually get a second tower before this game goes into the ground, ladies and gentlemen. He has to zap it. Jimit has to zap it. But I don't know if that zap was completely necessary because, you know, he's lost this game anyway. Maybe he should have tried to do some magic, which is essentially not possible. I don't see any way Jimit coming back from that heavy of a loss. Well, since the score is now 1-2 in favor of Kamil Khan, and the next match actually might be the last one of this series, considering this is a best of 5, we are going to just thank our best friends in the entire world because it's all thanks to them that we're able to do the ESL India Premiership production every day and bring all of these wonderful esports to you every day. It's 6 p.m. And I don't know what my producer is trying to tell me, but I'm going to just completely ignore him because, you know, we need to thank our sponsor here. Omen by HP, HyperX, Intel. You want to say that into the microphone, Mr. Producer? Yeah, that's okay. And of course, all of this brought to you by us good folk at Nordwind Gaming. And having said that, let's just head into game number 4. Kamil versus Jimit. The score right now 2-1 in favor of Kamil. And again, Jimit is using a ram, basically a Brit spam deck versus Kamil's what I suspect to be the same deck that he's used before to counter Jimit's Three Musketeer deck. And we're going to see those two bandits meet somewhere in the middle over there, dashing at each other. Ooh, good placement from Jimit of the Ice Golem right there. Distracts the bandit long enough to not let it charge. And yeah, again, lots of elixir being spent right there in the center of the battlefield over here on the right lane. But now we see actually the Inferno Dragon not being of much use. Yeah, got completely distracted by the bandit over there, started chasing it, and eventually just died somewhere out there in no man's land. Again, Brit spam coming out from Kamil again. Is this ram going to make contact with the building, I wonder? Yes, it does. 500 damage just gone down right there. But the Dark Prince does make short work of the barbarians that popped out of it. But not before they brought it down to 1724 HP though. Now this ram coming out from Jimit also makes contact with the tower. And now those two barbarians not being distracted by any defensive unit that Kamil has placed, bring it down to like 1000 HP. That is insane. That must be a lucky break for Jimit right there. Now that Jimit knows which side of the battlefield he has to start spamming his units now, he has to distract Kamil long enough to not be able to instantly react to whatever Brit spam units that Jimit places down, like the bandit, like the ram. Mostly, I guess he wants to use force Kamil to put his Dark Prince down on the other side. So, okay. That's good though. I would argue that was not a good placement for the ram right there because it hardly made 2 or 3 cells into Kamil's territory before it got knocked down. No, so those two laser dragons are going to take care of each other. Yeah, they just burnt each other out of the sky. Both of them flew too close to each other, I guess. And we see Jimit and Kamil really struggling and making it into actually the last 20 seconds of the game before any solid pushes were coming out. Timely zap from Kamil coming out right there, stopping the ram from making contact with his tower. That was a good save, but Jimit has the initiative right now. I don't think Kamil is going to make any grand moves considering they almost have similar decks, right? They basically are playing with the mirror decks. Except Jimit has this magic archer and Kamil doesn't. Yeah, this ram is definitely going to not make contact with... I was about to say it was going to make contact, but thanks to the zap coming out from Kamil, it does not make contact. 4-7. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That magic archer just started targeting the Inferno Dragon, and thanks to the positioning of the Princess Star, he actually hit it 3 times, bringing it down to 374 HP again. Jimit opts to use his fireball to make contact with the tower, bring it down to 100 HP. And all he has to do is rotate back again to his fireball and launch it at Kamil's tower. And that's good night, Kamil. He's going to bring the score down to 2 each. And I think Kamil knows this, and he really doesn't do anything to stop it, because you can't stop a fireball. It's a spell, right? You can't distract it with an ice golem, unlike a P.E.K.K.A or something. But yeah, so this has been exciting. Like, the score right now is 2 each, Jimit versus Kamil, and I don't know. Do you guys want to go immediately to game 5? Okay, that's what we'll do. Okay, again we're back to what is most probably the final game, because unless these guys end up in a draw, we're not going to see a game 6. Looking at the decks off first glance, looks like Jimit has basically stuck to his deck because it worked very well for him last matchup. And I gotta say, I have to agree. And Kamil has switched to his Golem Dark Prince push deck. And we just have to wait and see which has the type advantage over it. I see. I am a little bit partial towards the Golem, right? Like, while we had the Golem God, aka Hasib, playing in the Premiership last year, he was my favorite player because I don't know. I guess I'm a little bit of a fanboy for the Golem, and I really hope the Golem decks win, because it's basically my primary card on when I want to climb the ladder. Like, every time I try to experiment a bit, every time I try to branch out, it just doesn't work out. But every time I put a Golem in my deck, I just start grabbing those trophies one by one. Yeah. So Kamil has taken the first brunt of damage towards his tower, bringing it down to 1586 HP. We are almost halfway into the game. Minute 30 seconds left on the clock before. I don't know how much longer he wants to wait. We are 4 HP, and with that fast-moving contact from Jimit's battle ram, the tower goes down. Kamil says, "Screw it! My king tower is strong enough to bring those two little barbarians down," and he decides to concentrate attack onto the left flank of Jimit right there. And I think that was a good decision, because now he's going to for sure bring that tower down. But now, is he going to be able to defend against this push? Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Because he has a Dark Prince as well, who also has splash damage. And in 3 seconds, we're going to enter overtime. Arguably, Kamil is in the better position right now, because Jimit's tower is at 1352 HP. Jimit's King Tower stops Jimit's probing with a set of Royal Guards. And I don't think that ram is going to make contact with the tower either. And thanks to the Dark Prince's splash damage, he's going to make short work of this push. And whatever is left is going to be cleaned up by the tower as well as the baby dragon over there. I guess Kamil is again getting up to put down another golem. But first he has to do what he can to stop this push with as little elixir as possible. Again, he puts down another Dark Prince to stop this push again. Like this... I think this game has just come down. This particular game has just come down to placing the Dark Prince in the right exact time at the right exact position. Like, Jimit's battle ram pops his barbarians out, and there is no other way to stop them other than a tornado or a log or a Dark Prince. But he needs those cards again to stop Jimit's more dangerous cards, and we see this golem right there making its way to Jimit's tower, and I guess we can say sayonara to Jimit's tower right there. 317 HP, 2 more hits coming out from the golem, and there we go. A 3-crown victory for Kamil right there, finishes this matchup with a score of 3-2. And yeah, that was some impressive, and to quote Angie again, some versatile gameplay right there. Or to quote Vagish, versatile gameplay. I see just him looking at the camera. I guess he wants to glare at me with those. I hear you, Vagesh. I'm gonna just shove the audience back towards the studio, and yeah, Angie, please explain that deck that Jimit has used in the second game, because I am actually really curious about it. And again, this is the ESL India Premiership summer season, Clash Royale, and what else? What else? What else? What else can I fill the time with? Because it's still 6:45, and it's day 40, day 42. That's 6 times 7 is 42. Okay. So I digress. I digress. I know you guys don't like PJs that much, so I'm just gonna send you guys back to the studio for some juicy analysis. And yeah, that's it.
साला कितना बात करता है गोला बे? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back again with the studio segment of the ESL India Premiership 2018 Summer Seasons' Masters League. Definitely seems like Manoj Gola absolutely did not attend the wedding. All he did was sit in the hotel room and play Clash Royale. Such in-depth analysis, yeah. Baba Ray.
What a brilliant game,
but yes, I was about to come to that. Thank you for stealing my thoughts, Angie. Okay. That's a good analyst there. What a wonderful game. Yeah. That Golem sealed the deal for Shadab.
But intense. I mean, every single match between these two, every single round between these two was just fantastic to watch. I mean, I was on my toes like, okay, now this guy's going to take it. No, he's going to take it. I really didn't know because they had such beautiful picks. And we even got to see the Rascals card. So that's like the cherry on the cake. But talking about versatility, yes, Kamil showing that he just knows how to play everything under the sun. He knows how to counter everything under the sun. But Jimit also being fantastic. If we just have to break down the games, I've just written them very short so people don't get too bored. But in the first game, I think Kamil just took it because he had the Rascals card. Like, I'm not even going to analyze that because it was so exciting for Jimmy to even see the card being played, and it was so simple to counter. With just one log sees to it that the two I don't know what to call them, archers or the ladies that shoot, they just kind of go down with the log, and then we have this cute giant that keeps walking to the tower. Of course, Kamil making sure that he knew how to play the deck. He combined the Rascals with the Hunter card, which kind of helped him secure that victory for himself. And I could be like, alright, you know, it's the first game, Jimit is just warming up. But then the second game, Jimit made sure that he had everything in place. If he had watched that game very closely, there was a point in the game where the Inferno was at the river, yes, and he was able to kind of take down most of the cards without being hit by the Princess Star. So either that is fantastic placement or he just got lucky. But he did that twice in a row, so I don't think that is luck based. He's just done the calculations absolutely perfectly, and that's why he took that game.
He's measured out the play area appropriately.
Perfectly. And he's played the Inferno card so beautifully well. Normally, you know, it takes an Inferno card a lot to take down smaller units. But whether we talk about the bats coming in from the Dark Witch, whether we talk about the Mega Minion, he made sure that the Inferno Dragon could take down all of them. If we go to the third game, I think the only reason Jimmy kind of lost that game was because he had too many aggressive cards. He had the 3 Musketeers, he had the Hog, and he had the Royal Ghost. He also jumped into that and said, you know what, I'm going to use all the... He used the Battle Ram too. Now, when you have too many aggressive cards and you don't really have the space to play all of them, it kind of gets very, very difficult. Because, you know, you have the 3 Musketeers, which indirectly means you need to have the Elixir Collector. Because if you don't have the Elixir Collector, you're going to take a long time to kind of use those cards. And when you use those cards, it costs 9 Elixir. So there was one point in the game where finally he did manage to place the 3 Musketeers down, but they just got shot down by a fireball. And 3 Musketeers dropping as soon as, you know, you have the 9 elixir, it's a waste of elixir. And at the end of the day, that's why Jimit lost the game. Going to the fourth game, now these two players played exactly the same decks. There was no difference.
No, pretty similar in terms of
gameplay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Absolutely. And the funny part is that we saw that it wasn't Jimit who played the Golem, but it was Kamil who played the Golem.
Yeah, I told you that the final game was on the Dark Prince. I was like, do they have like a... Does he have like a mirror card? How does he have like 2 Dark Prince? And like, oh shit, that's like the other Dark Prince.
They both had the Battle Ram, they both had the Bandit, they both had the 3 Musketeers, and I'm sorry, the Dark Prince. And when the Golem got placed down by Kamil, Jimit just knew how to counter it. And that was the first time where, you know, I was like, all right, so, you know, you're putting a card that this guy is really good at. But in the last game, and this was just the finishing was just beautiful. We had the Golem placed again.
That Golem could not have been stopped.
Yeah.
That Golem probably required a P.E.K.K.A.
It was all coming down to, you know, a last minute. Like, either I spend the next 10 seconds
Defending the golem and
or
losing
I
the
just
other
try
tower.
my luck at the tower. And at the end of the day, both of them played well, but Kamil just being that little bit more luckier, I would say, with his cards
If
and
I
getting
was
that
in
game.
Jimit's situation, I would have put in everything which I had
Yeah.
to stop that gosh darn golem.
Yeah.
Because if I defend that golem, everybody else is trying to ward off whatever I've thrown at the golem.
Yeah.
That buys me some time to save my king tower. Because
Yeah.
then I can like be a creep and like start doing chip damage to the other king tower. I could have done that. I could have done that.
we
That could have been a way forward.
But you know, as I always say this, that when you're sitting at home
Yeah,
and you're sitting in
it's-
your comfort, it's very different. But when you're playing something like the Masters League, you have so much pressure on your head, and you have to think within seconds about what's the next move, what can I do, what can I play.
I
And
agree.
I think at the end of the day, that's why I think Kamil sits 7th on the board, very cushy spot, because he's just a little more calmer, but he's learning how to deal with pressure. And he's dealing with it really, really well.
आएगा आएगा धीरे धीरे करके आएगा बट अभी के लिए देवी और सज्जनों everybody watching us except the people who aren't